What is up, you guys? So I just got back from the gym and I want to tell you guys this quick story that happened recently because it is one of the craziest and I know you guys will love it. So let's talk about it real quick. Okay, so recently I've been doing a lot of missions at the skate park and just around the town. So I'll go around the town. It may look like this, for example. Like, I'm guided to go for a walk. And then I go for a walk and there's a group of kids that are into astral projection and want to know more about it, but they can't find anybody. And then I'm there. Or, for example, a kid's like crying on the side of the street and then I happen to pass by and like be there to help him, right? Stuff like this happen all the time. And with this mission, I was blown away by how blunt it was. So this story is really multi-layered, but I'm gonna start with the beginning. So it looked like this with this specific girl. So this girl is in grade 7 or 8, and she's gone through a lot in her life related to abuse, related to bullying, but she's a warrior, bro. Like, if you pull up on her, she'll fight you, right? Like, so she's a warrior just like that. And she's just got the Lyran spirit overall. But I didn't think like that yet. I was just like, oh, this girl. And I was curious why she was sent to me. Like, usually I'll go to the skate park and then people's guides will send them to me and then I'll help them with something certain. This girl, I was like, okay, why'd you guys send her to me? And then I started to realize how bad she was being bullied. And now you guys know my history of bullying. And right away when I hear this bullying and I see the bullies, I'm like, all right, let's get it done. But not like fighting, but like commanding power in your own right. So I was like, well, I want to help this girl bust it up, right? Like bust it up as a queen. So it was interesting because I gave her this bracelet. It was like an obsidian bracelet. I was guided to give it to her. And little did I know, I forgot it had a lion on it. So she was showing me how she wears it all the time. And I was like, okay, this is just more confirmation she's a Lyran. And so, but I tried to later on, I tried to explain this to her, but she wasn't fully ready for that yet. So when she's older, she'll get into all that. But anyways, back to the story. So this girl was being bullied by this group of girls on Snapchat. And they would put her in the group chat and they would just make fun of how big her head is, how big her nose is. They were like searching for something to bully her about. And they would constantly talk about how ugly she is. And then they would blame it on her and be like, well, I wouldn't have to bully you if you weren't so ugly. Like, what the hell? Like, in my eyes, I'm like, bro, this is a comedy series. But in her eyes, just like when I was at that age and going through that type of bullying for the first time, I was like, this ain't funny, this is for real, right? So I was aware of that. So we would spend some nights talking and just getting into life and what she's going through and stuff like that. She would show me what this bully girl would say. This girl will always feel like she was on the verge of killing herself. So I realized I was sent to her to like stop her from killing herself, but I knew it was about self-empowerment and protecting her. But you know what's funny is, this is where the story gets interesting because her guides kept telling me reptilian, reptilian, reptilian. And I was like, okay, I need a little more proof, guys, because obviously this girl's energy is pure reptilian. Like every time this girl leaves the group chat, she puts her back in. And there was just more like trying to always telling her to kill herself. And this group of people behind this girl is like supporting it. Like they're not saying kill yourself, but they're like supporting it. They're not doing anything to stop it. So I knew it was a reptilian, but then she said to her one night, she texted me and she goes, bro, this girl said some weird ass shit to me. And I was like, what did she say? And she said that she can't wait to eat me later. I said, what? She said to me that I can't wait to eat you later. And right away I was like, all right, it's settled. Like there's no other, you can't be like, oh, but this, no. That is for sure straight up a reptilian. So I sat there all night thinking about it because I was like, after she told me about what the reptilian told her, I was in my feelings for a while. Not just thinking about Lyran, what happened to my home world and all that stuff. We gotta talk about past life memories too. Please remind me. Let me know if you guys want videos like that. But it reminded me of that memories, and I was just looking at it, I'm like, I can't let this reptilian get her. And later when I figured out she was a Lyran, not just from the bracelet, but from before, it was from her guides telling me, and then I realized on the bracelet that I gave her one that had a lion on it, I was like, okay, she's a Lyran too, and this reptilian specifically feeding on her and wanting to feed off of her for her being a Lyran. Not just that, but also for her being so powerful. She's a powerful starseed. And you know they love to go for powerful starseeds. Especially the Dark Reptilians, they're still like hunting down Lyrans. Like they hate Lyrans with all their heart. And they still hunt us like dogs. So I could not let this girl be taken by this reptilian. I refused. If you guys been following me for a long time, you know I've been battling them for a while. But how blunt they are in my town. And they're coming out the woodworks now. Now, we'll talk more about the reptilians in my town, but we'll focus on this one for now. Let's stay focused. I gotta mention this because there's a bunch of kids at the skate park that are pretty conscious. Like, this one little girl, she's only in grade 5, and she's a demon hunter. She literally fights demons, and it'll get to the point where she fights demons and they follow her home, and they make paranormal activity happen all through her house. So, even her parents know what's going on, but they don't know about the reptilian stuff. So this girl is only in grade 5. She's been fighting reptilians for a while. She's probably gonna watch this video too. So that's my girl, man. That's my girl. We literally go and do missions together, and we talk at the end of the day, and we talk about what's going on, especially in the school. She's almost like my inside view in the school, because there's a lot of dark activity happening within the school too. But there's actually 2 kids. One's a boy and one's a girl, and they're really conscious. Now, both of them, the girl is already she's so strong, and she talks to angels and all that, and the angels update me on what's going on with her, and I go to her, and she's always like, how do you know that? How do you know that? I'm like, bro, you're angels. Like, they come to me all the time, update me on what's up. And I was scared to tell her stuff, because I'm like, bro, you know you're a demon hunter, right? Like, look how good you are. She knows how quick she's evolving, and she's so fast. I've never seen one little girl so good at demon hunting. The one boy is the same age too. Now, it's the one, Orion. We talked earlier in the other videos about the Orion, the little Royal Orion. It's him. And his older brother is into he's kind of a demon hunter too, but he's focused on his business and spiritual growth, not necessarily demon hunting. So, at one point, I'm taking the kids out to go get ice cream. She pulls up in the Dairy Queen, and she has 2 little girls beside her. I called them her little minions, because they had some attitude too, but they were like in grade 3, 4. They were small, and they were just listening to the drama. And I sat there, and I'm studying this girl, because I'm like, okay, this is the one that's the reptilian, or has the reptilian trying to possess her. Later on, I realized it was a reptilian trying to possess her. So I'm literally standing here like this, and I'm talking, and I'm like, listen, I'm not here to cuss you out, but you're the girl that's been telling my friend to kill herself? And the girl that was, the one was about to kill herself was not there at the time. And she's like, yes, that's me. And I'm like, are you aware you're trying to get her to kill herself? Like, I'm not good with that. And she's like, yeah, but... And then she's trying to make up things, saying, she did this, she did that to me. And then I was like, okay, good understanding. Later on, I realized, skipping ahead a little bit, because I realized later she was making up lies. But when I looked at her arms, I could see the cuts on her arms. She had cuts all the way up here. All the way up. And the cloud of darkness was all over her. So I knew that it was a possession, because you already know they like to possess people that are in really dark modes. So I knew she was already there, and it was trying to possess her. She was being real nice. Like, you could see the poor little girl inside of her. But then when she left the store, everybody was like, she was so mean. She was telling me to fuck off and all of that. So obviously it's like the reptilian left her when she came into the store, knowing I was there, and I was studying her too. I was watching her every move in the store. And then when she left, then she went back to her. It's like the reptilian jumped back on her, in her. And so the little girl was like, bro, the reptilian, I feel it on her. So anytime the girl would say something, I would look at her. I'd look at the little girl, and I'd be like, do you see? But I wouldn't say anything. I'd just look at her like this. And then she would look at me, she'd be like, So me and this girl we've only known each other for like a few weeks, but we've been doing this for years. So after the girl left, I said, all right, I told the little boy and little girl, I said, all right, guys, let's go home and recuperate, right? We need to recalculate. We need to understand the situation. The one little girl, she stayed out a little bit and then she went home. So she started going home when it was starting to get a little darker. The little boy heard that reptilian girl was in McDonald's and decided to go. I said, don't do that. Don't do that, because he was telling me before he wanted to get into demon hunting more and fight like dark beings. And he was like, oh, tell them to pull up. Tell them to pull up. I was like, you're going to regret that, right? You're going to highly regret that. It was crazy because he went to McDonald's and I had to go home. I was like, all right, it's about to go down. So I went home, and then as it's getting a little bit darker, you know, it's starting to like sunsetting, the little girl texts me. She's like, they're following me home. And it was funny because I already like knew that was gonna be happening. She's intuitive. She's like, I know they're gonna try me next and all that. And I said they're going to. So she was telling me how when she was going home, she could feel shadows and see shadows behind her. And every time she'd pass by a street light, it would flicker. So it was some straight movie shit. What happened after is she said her angels told her to run home, which they did. And, oh, let me say, her angels, she doesn't see angels, she sees angels. Like, she'll see giant eyeballs with feathers and, like, wings. So she's seen the, you know, classic, how the angels actually look. And she, when I first met her, I was telling her there's 3 beings in front of us. They're, like, literally standing in front of her. And I said, they're standing right here, 1, 2, 3. And after she believed it, she was like, oh yeah, I could feel them there. But what was funny was when she went home, she said 3 beings that were in all purple and they were all women were standing in front of her in her room. And I was like, that's the 3 beings we were talking about, right? If you see a lot of purple, that's them, especially. So she's awakened. After the little boy goes home and the sun's setting, it's getting a little bit darker. And he texts me saying, Vinny, it's following me home. And he was scared because he could feel it in his room. And I said, I know it's right beside you. He said, yes, it's right beside me. And I said, now it's in the living room. So I was keeping astral access of his house. And he's been attacked multiple times. So this was a hard one for him. I told him, I tried to teach him how to make a shield, but it kept bursting through the shield. So I knew this was a strong one. And then after, I sent an astral guard to fight it, and it was fighting it good. It was struggling, and he's like, I could feel him. Like, did you send a guard? I was like, yeah, it's fighting it right now. And he's like, I could feel it, I could see it. So he was seeing it all in his room. And then after, our phone cut out for 10 minutes. I couldn't talk to him for a whole 10 minutes. And I was keeping astral access, and I knew my one guard was struggling. So I sent 3 more. And then the phone connection came back. And he's like, it's gone now. Thank you, Vinny. I feel much safer now. So he felt really good after. It was funny because while it was happening, he was like, I'm going to sleep with my mom tonight. He was genuinely scared, which when I first started this joint too, it was scary. After that, he was good. He was like, oh yeah, I'm good. I feel safe now. And he asked me to keep the guards there for a little bit. So I did. But then he texted the girl that was being bullied by that reptilian girl. And he said, I'm going to fight for you. And I'm going to protect you. He said, this being is strong and I'm going to protect you. I'm going to help fight it for you. And I saw that and I thought it was so cute. And I just thought that was the most heartwarming thing ever. I thought that was so cute. And the girl that was being attacked by the reptilian girl, she wasn't fully, I told her, I said, you know, this is a reptilian. And I tried to let her know, but it was really scary to her. And she kind of like brushed it off. She internalized it, but kind of brushed it off. It was a lot for her. So seeing the 2 kids into it and helping her battle it, it kind of gave her like a yes, this is for real more. She's way better now. She is, her energy feels so good. She's so much happier, and she's doing things now to remind herself that she's a survivor. So now she does little things like she wears something that she's like, my family wears it every time we survived something, or we to remind ourselves that we're a survivor. We survived. It's just crazy to see how they're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's about 3 people now. 3 people who are like demon hunters, and they're helping me to do all this spiritual stuff around the town. So we good, and it's interesting to see how diverse it is. Like, one's in high school, one's in grade 7, and one's in grade 6. Like, it's like that, but they're so dedicated to the mission. And they'll update me. They're like, okay, there was a demon here and it did this, and I'll get astral access, and I'll see how good they are and how true what they're reading is, like, to help them evolve. And so everything's really good. But also, we have a team on Discord. Don't forget to follow the Discord. Click the link in my bio on Instagram, Imkingcash, and you can find the Discord server there. It is a true family, and it's an army, and it's a family. So it's just like what we're trying to do in this town now. So I want to let you know, if you guys need a family like that, join the Discord, or also just follow me on social media, because we talk about this stuff all the time, especially demon hunting, and I want to just raise awareness, especially be there for those who are demon hunters. But I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Stick around. Don't forget to join the family, and we got a lot more coming. Peace out.